cooking it up in here. Look at that. It is wonderful. Oh, those are so pretty. Ooh, looks scrumptious. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, it's that time of year in the South, we're all enjoying fresh peaches. And nothing could be better for me than to have Anne Carr of Titan Farms back with us for the third time. The first time we actually went to her home, cooked in her kitchen, and then had a fun picnic on the porch. The next time we actually went to the plant and toured and saw how all the peaches are harvested and processed. So today we're at the cottage. We're gonna make 3 of Anne's favorite recipes. We're gonna start with a peach coffee cake that's got a really crisp streusel on the top. Then we'll move into a Titan Farms salsa that's really spicy, great with a lot of different dishes. Then we'll do a peach cobbler that has a really crisp cobbler crust. Got a lot to do today in Vera's Corner. We're going to learn more about how to peel and preserve peaches for future use. So I've got Anne in the kitchen getting started on that coffee cake. Let's go inside and join her. Okay, so I'm back in the kitchen with Anne, and it's always so great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be back.
Well, and you know, you look so much at home now. Third time's the charm, right? All right, so she has been busy getting this coffee cake ready, and it has a streusel topping. Oh, I mean, and it's been in the refrigerator. But let me kind of walk everybody through what we did to get ready for that streusel topping. So basically what this is combining flour, brown sugar, cinnamon, and salt. And then we added butter that had been cut into little pieces and gotten really, really cold so that you could rub it between your fingertips to get it combined very well with the flour. And then we added almonds kind of as a twist to it for this, and then we put that in the refrigerator. So now we're ready to get the rest of the recipe going. So I've gone ahead and preheated the oven to 350. And I also took my Baker's Joy and sprayed the pan. And you know, we always do that over the sink.
That's right.
So that doesn't go all over the kitchen. All right, so you're gonna get started. All right, so we've got flour, we've got baking powder, we've got a little salt, some cinnamon. And you're just gonna whisk that together. And see, this is why I need you, Anne, because this is a tag team effort here. All right, so I've got butter in the mixer. And while you're whisking that together, I'm gonna get this creaming.
Ooh, smells good.
And this is just plain granulated sugar. And you know, the thing about this recipe is it can be a coffee cake for a meeting. It can be, you know, something that you serve for breakfast over the weekend.
Really?
That looks great. Any time of day. So I'm going to let this just beat for a few minutes. And you know, one of the things I always say about the baking things in the cookbook is that let your ingredients be at room temperature.
Yes.
But on the opposite side of that, it's just like the butter we put in the refrigerator so it would coat. And it's a little messy, but it also makes that streusel really work well. Okay, so now I'm going to add 1 egg. Then we've got almond extract.
Yum.
Which a little bit of that goes quite a long way. And some vanilla. And so now we're going to alternate the wet and dry.
Okay.
So I'm taking away your utensils. So can you get to that? All right, so you're going to do dry, and then I'll come in with the buttermilk.
That wasn't good.
So as she does that, so one of the things, you know, Anne, I don't know about you, but chemistry wasn't my favorite subject in high school, and I thought, well, I'm going to major in home ec, so I don't have to take anything hard, and then you have to take chemistry.
That's right.
But now I know it's because so much about baking has to do with it. So just like the room temperature, you know, the baking soda is what you generally use with buttermilk. But you can use baking powder with buttermilk, but the baking powder will have the buttermilk flavor not as prevalent. So since this is baking powder, we are going to taste more of the peaches. We're going to taste more of the almond because we're doing it that way. All right, so I'll let you go ahead and we'll add about half of that now. I think it's liquidy enough. And then, you know, when you're using buttermilk, you see how much of that is still in the, you know, my grandmother would scrape a bowl until there was never anything left
Mine too.
for me to lick the bowl or the pan or anything else. But we'll keep adding that. We'll keep adding that in.
Okay.
And then, you know, as you're doing this, why don't you talk a little bit about the peach that we're using? And I'll take over there for just a minute.
These fresh ripe peaches are really hold their consistency well in this particular recipe. And just they're so flavorful and juicy that just really stands up well in this.
Well, and as they'll see when we present this at the end of the show today, you can see those peaches in there.
You can.
And I think that's what, you know, a lot of times you'll get a really firm peach that will have no flavor.
Right.
You know, it's firm, but it's not ripe. And that's one of the reasons, you know, the Titan peaches have such a great reputation for being firm, but also flavorful at the same time. So I'm going to be scraping this beater while you add those peaches in and fold those together.
Okay.
Just like we said, I'll let you go ahead. I'll stay out of your way. So this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. It's going to bake for about 40 to 50 minutes. We're going to put that streusel topping on the top right before it goes in the oven. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get started on a peach salsa that really emphasizes the freshness of that peach that you can use on a lot of different things. So come back with us in just a few minutes. We'll get this popped in the oven. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining me, I'm with Anne Carr, Titan Farms, and you and your husband have had the business
23 years.
Wow. You know, and we've had so much fun together. This is your third time on the show.
Here we go.
And we're doing a lot of wonderful things. It smells so good in here. We just took the peach coffee cake out of the oven. We did a glaze to go on top of it. It just smells amazing. But you know what? It's almost being overtaken by this salsa.
No.
So tell us a little bit about all the ingredients that go into this.
So these are tomatoes. We have tomatoes. We've got some cilantro, little jalapeno, and of course the peaches. And we just mix them all together. And we have learned that it's really good to let that sit overnight after we get it all together, and you're going to add some onion to it.
I am going to add some onions. So let's kind of talk about in terms of, in Vera's Corner today, I'm going to go over some more of the technique about how to actually peel a peach without a problem and how to get it prepared so that you can use it, you know, down the road, that if season is over and you want a peach, how you can enjoy it for later. But on the peach, when I'm doing it for something like this, I basically just cut it 4 times, you know, with the whole peach, and then just dice it up. On the tomato, I like to get rid, of course, of the little center and then cut it into fourths again, and then make 4 cuts and then dice that. On the jalapeno, we have to remember that it's not a bell pepper.
That's right.
And that those seeds are kind of hot, and that we want to, you know, make sure that you don't then end up with your hands on your eyes or anything like that. We used about a half of that. We also put a lime. Part of this juice is the fact that we cut a fresh lime in half and just squeezed that over it. All right, so we talked about the onion. So one of the things, of course, that's hard is, you know, we love to use Vidalia onions, of course, because you're not going to be crying and all of that. But how in the world do you not spend your whole day dicing an onion? So what I'm doing here is just I'm making my marks about halfway down on this onion. And this is a very sharp knife. And then I'm going to make them go in the other direction, about halfway down. And then you can cut your slices like you would ordinarily, but there's your dice. So it makes it really easy to do. This uses about 1/4 of a cup. So I'll add those in and let you stir those around. So what are some of the uses for this, Lorianne?
Well, it's one of my favorite things because it does have so many different uses. You can just eat this with some great pita chips, or you can also serve it with your favorite, whatever meat you're grilling. So,
Oh, yeah.
Especially during the summer with all these fresh vegetables right at hand.
Well, and then we're going to do some tacos.
That's right.
To put it on there. And Lorianne, people say all the time, how do you come up with all these recipes? Well, all of these recipes are on Titan Farms website. So if you're ever looking for something a little bit different, because who would have ever thought of making salsa out of peaches? That's where you find all of these unusual recipes. So we're going to use that with the taco, but then I'm going to use it in an upcoming episode of something that didn't even call for that, but just as you said, as you become familiar with recipes, sometimes you think of other ways to use them. All right, so in Vera's Corner today, as I said, we're going to go over some ways to preserve these peaches so you can enjoy them all the time. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to make your grandmother's cobbler.
That's right.
I can't wait. Y'all come back with us. Vera's Corner is brought to you by TaxSlayer. Do you want to preserve the juiciness and flavor of this peach to use all year? Well, so do I. Let me share a few tips on how to peel and preserve these peaches to use in dishes all year long. Bring a large pot of water to a boil and prepare an ice bath. Cut a small X on the bottom surface of each peach and add your peaches to the boiling water for about 20 seconds. Then place in the ice bath until cool. Using a paring knife to peel, starting from the X at the bottom and peel towards the stem. The skin should fall right off. Now insert your knife along the crease, straight to the pit, turning the peach until you have made a full circle. Slice the peach to your desired thickness and remove the slices straight from the pit. In a large bowl, toss the slices in the juice of 1 lemon and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar for every 8 to 10 peaches. The lemon juice helps to prevent the peaches from browning, while the sugar releases the juices to avoid air pockets while freezing. Place the peaches in a quart-sized bag. Release all the air, seal tightly, and place flat in the freezer for easy storage. When it's time to whip up a cobbler, smoothie, or ice cream, you will now have juicy peaches for a sweet treat any time of the year. Start free today at TaxSlayer.com. Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed Vera's Corner. I know, Lorianne, you and I have both frozen peaches, pickled peaches, canned peaches. There's so many things and ways to use them all year. All right, so we got another splendid recipe.
Yes, this one's from my family. My
I
great-grandmother's recipe for peach cobbler.
Well, and it's just so different, and me, I'm always going to put a twist on things.
That's right.
So, of course, you can make this in a regular pan, but we thought it would be fun to try it in little ramekins for individual. So again, on this, we dice the peaches, and you can just see how ripe they are because they've changed colors, but they're also very firm. And we put the sugar on it to kind of let soak through. But this is one of those chemistry questions because the recipe, and like I said, all of these recipes are on Titan Farms website, everything imaginable to do with the peach. But the recipe actually says to put the peaches in the bottom of the prepared pan, which we prepared these ramekins, and then sprinkle it with sugar. So the home ec chemistry person over here is going, well, why do you do that? Because you're going to put dough on it. And what did you say?
Because that's the way my great-grandmother did it.
So there's your answer right there. All right, so I'm going to get started on this little crust that goes on top. So I've got my sugar in the bowl. Now I'm going to add flour and mix that together. And this was another one of those recipes I thought, okay, I want to make sure
it's not going to work.
It's not work. I was texting Lorianne and asking her. Okay, so in the well, I'm going to put the egg, and this is melted butter. And for all of you Southerners out there that do the dump in the bowl with the canned peaches and the 1 cup of butter and the 1 cup of sugar and the 1 cup of flour, you have got to try this recipe because it is so crisp.
It has a wonderful crust. That's my favorite part.
I mean,
I always make it in a bigger dish so it has more crust.
Right. Well, and the thing about it is that the word cobbler it refers to crisp.
Right.
So I don't know what happened to that cobbler recipe all these years that has turned into something that's more cake-like. Right. And this is really pie crust-like. So look at this dough so y'all get a real visual. Because, part of what your fondness probably is you actually probably saw her make this. Or did you see your mother make it?
Both.
Both? All right, so to this, and you might want to use that same spoon, we're going to put some of this on top. And then we spread it out when we did it. Y'all, I'm doing this the way Laurie Ann has never done it.
That's right.
She humors me when I start
mixing it up.
When I start putting a twist on the recipe.
That's right.
But my question to her was, this is not self-rising flour.
Right.
And what is going to make this rise? And then when she had to share with me that this is the way my great-grandmother made it, and it's supposed to be flat and crisp.
And you also asked me about it being so thick. That's how I knew you had made it right.
See? And it doesn't hurt to ask those questions. So as you can see, I'm going to have probably a little bit of dough left over that I can cut up some more peaches and maybe do another ramekin.
Right.
But this time of year, when we're also familiar with topping things with vanilla ice cream or peach ice cream that, again, she has for sale at Sarah's Market.
That's right.
It's phenomenal. It's hot outside, and that's going to immediately start melting. And even whipped cream is going to wilt. So we've done a caramel sauce that we're going to use in our presentation today. And this is an area where I want to send you to our YouTube channel because we make that. It takes about a minute, and you do it in the microwave.
Really?
So it's a great caramel sauce that's wonderful. It brings out the peach flavor with the almond and the crispy crust, but it also works really well. All right, so we're going to get these popped in the oven, 400 degrees for about 23 minutes. Get that nice and piping hot. And then we're going to go out on the front porch, out in the front yard of the cottage. We're going to lay everything out that we've done today, learn a little bit more about what's available at the fresh markets this summer for you to purchase, and we'll maybe get to sample some stuff.
That sounds good.
Okay, y'all come back with us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. And Laurie Ann, we've done it again.
We've had another great day together.
I mean, it's just been peachy today. And needless to say, you would think after 3 times together, we'd start running out of recipes or ideas, and we never do.
No.
So we've had so much fun today. We started with the peach coffee cake. And what was so special about that recipe?
That topping that's on there is absolutely amazing. It's so crunchy. It's just fun.
Well, it's fun, and it's so cool. It could almost be a cupcake, with that streusel on the top.
It'd be a
and
great mix it up, Vera.
Mix
there
it
you
up.
go.
We're always looking for different ways to do our recipes. So I love that when it presents well on a cake stand. But like I said, you could also do it as a cupcake. Okay, then the salsa, the Titan Farm salsa.
That's one of my favorite things because it's so versatile. You can use it just in so many different ways. I mean, we are showing it here with the tacos, but you can just use it on grilled meat. It's just a great add-on to anything, and I think you might be thinking about using it again.
I know. I mean, we were looking at these recipes, and then we looked ahead to like 5 more shows later, and we thought we're going to use it again with something else that I hope you'll love. And then finally, the peach cobbler. And it's Laurie Ann's peach cobbler. So why do you love it so much?
It's my great-grandmother's recipe, and I love the crust that's on top.
Well, and I called you when we were working on it because it doesn't have milk. and it doesn't have any kind of leavening agent.
Right.
But that topping is really cobbler-like.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow or another in the South, we've gotten gooey with cobblers. So if you're looking for a crisp cobbler recipe, this is it. Well, tell everybody a little bit about the stands that are, open right now with your products.
We have our 3 roadside stands. We have one in Aiken, we have one in Trenton, and then we have one at the farm. And so they're open 7 days a week, and it's a great opportunity for high school and college kids to work.
Right.
And they work long, hot days, and they take care of our customers really well. That's one of the great comments that we always get back from our customers is how kind they are and how open and friendly they are.
Well, and they're knowledgeable. You teach them about the product, and you can see that in their conversations. And, it's also a family outing.
It is.
And maybe it's the ice cream that makes the little kids want to go to the stands. But, enough about the kids. We were thinking, and we've both been sipping on our peach iced tea today, but we were thinking about maybe an adult glass recipe. And this is a popsicle.
Yes.
It's made with peach vodka, and it's very simply that you're just going to blend up the peaches in the blender, add in some citrus, lemon, orange. You're going to add in the vanilla and the peach vodka, and then it's just a perfect little dessert for late in the day.
Absolutely.
So,
yes, cheers.
I'm so glad that all of you joined us today. I certainly always love having you, Lori Ann, and so proud of everything your family is doing with your business. She's going to be traveling all over this summer. So remember, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. I hope you all come back and join us next week. And don't forget to follow us on social media, because you never know when we might be giving something away.